Hi everyone, this is a lesson today on finding factors and then going on to find the highest common factor between two numbers. Please ignore the date up the top left of the worksheet, it's just the date that I saved the worksheet onto the iPad. Just ignore that please, and if you can complete the starter and then come back on for the answers. So question 1, we are looking to mix paint. Our ratio is yellow to blue. So yellow dot dot blue. And the ratio numbers are 2 to 3. So that's what we can write down straight away just from that first sentence. We are told that Frank uses 8 litres of yellow paint. So the 8 goes underneath the 2 here, underneath the yellow. What have we done to get from 2 up to 8? We've times it by 4. Okay, so this was our ratio calculations, and it also relates to what the pinks did with direct proportion as well. Times the 3 by 4 and we get 12, so we need 12 blue litres, or 12 litres of blue. Now question 2, so this is one of our yellow-purple questions with proportion. So we've got cakes, and hours will be our two quantities. 60 cakes in 4 hours. We are trying to work out how many cakes Sarah can make in 7 hours. So we're looking to get that down to 7. We generally have an intermediate step of 1, and in which case we divide by the 4 to get down to 1, and then times by the 7 to get up to the 7. The same calculations on the left hand side, sorry. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. 15 times 7 will give us the final answer. So we get 105. So in 7 hours, Sarah can make 105 cakes. Okay, again, that was just a bit from the previous topic, so hopefully you found those questions a-okay, especially question 1. Okay, so moving on, we looked at multiples and lowest common multiple over the past couple of periods. Well, today we're moving on to another type of number called factor. Now, a factor of a number is something that divides into a number. So we were talking about multiples of 3. They were all bigger than 3. Okay, or they were 3. They were 3 or they were bigger. Factors, so we could have factors of 12, they are going to be smaller than the number, so smaller than 12. And we need something that divides evenly into the number. Okay, so something that divides evenly into 12 rather than a multiple, which was something that 12 divided into. Okay, so it's quite easy to get those two mixed up, which is why we do them separately, then we take them together as well at the end. So, factors are numbers that divide into numbers exactly, as I said there, okay? So, factors of 24 are listed all around 24. Now notice that 1 is always a factor of a number, because you can always divide the number by 1, as is the number itself. So not only is 24 a multiple of 24, it is also a factor of 24 as well. Okay, we can divide 24 by each and all of these numbers that surround it. Unlike our multiples, these are a finite amount of numbers. We can't just make them go on forever. There are only so many numbers that can be factors of 24, for instance. So the factors of 24 can be displayed like this. I've just scattered them all around 24. What we normally like to do is to scatter them or to list them into factor pairs. Okay, so in this case we have 1 and 24, and actually what we'll find is if we times each of these factor pairs together, we will make 24. So essentially what we're doing when making these lists is to come up with two numbers that we can multiply together to make the given number, in this case 24. So again, going down the list, 2 times 12 gives us 24, as does 3 times 8, as does 4 times 6. Now, if we're just listing the factor numbers, we don't put those multiplies in the middle, we just have the two lists. But that's what we're looking to find, two numbers that multiply together to give us our desired number, so in this case 24. So if we want to write down all the factors of 12, I'm looking for factor pairs. Okay, so I'm going to try and get these into pairs. Pairs of numbers that when you multiply them two together, you get 12. And if you do it this way, that way you don't miss out any factors. It's very easy just to miss out the factors if you start just listing them. Okay. The first thing always to do is to do 1 and the number itself. Okay, that way you've got that out the way, you know it's already going to have to be a pair. The next thing to do then is to work through. So what else can we divide 12 by? We can divide 12 by 2. And actually 2 times 6 will also give us 12. And also 3 times 4 will give us 12. Okay, so we always look for those factor pairs. Now that's the exhausted list for 12. There may be more and more and more as we look through different numbers. So for 40 there might be a longer list than there is for 12, for instance. Okay, but for 12 that's all we have. For 20, so again we'll start off with 1 and 20. What else? 2 and 10. We've got 5 and 4. And we have to keep thinking, we have to think, is there any more? Is there anything else that multiplies together to get us 20? In this case, no. So we've got an exhausted list. We always have to try and find the exhausted list. There is a finite number of numbers. In this case, 6 factors of 20. Okay, 28. So again, 1 and 28. I could say that 2 and 14 as well, straight off the bat. What else? 4 and 7. 4 times 7 will give me 28 as well. And again, we'll just think of as many as we can. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's all there is. So we're looking for those factor pairs again all the time. Okay, and now if we look at how many numbers I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 28 has 6 factors. That's as many as it can possibly have. There's no other pair of numbers, therefore it's got 6 single factors. 48 is going to have a few more, I think. So first 1 and 48. 2 and 24 as well. 6 and 8 is another one. 12 and 4. Doesn't matter how you list these, you don't have to go in a particular order. As you can see, I've kind of just put these all over the place for this one. That's perfectly fine. Okay. I'm just wondering if there's any more. 4, 9, no. 10, not 11, not 12. I think that might be us. Okay, if I've missed any, please do let me know in the comments of the team's post. Okay, I may have. Right, so once we have our factor pairs and once we've got to grips with what a factor of each of our numbers are, then we're looking to actually try and find what's known as the highest common factor. Now these are factors that are common between the two lists, but since this is an exhausted list, we are looking to try and get the highest one. Okay, so what we're going to do for these two numbers is to take the two numbers separately, list all of the factors, and then try and find a common one. So for 12, we've already done these factors. We've said 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. And we have to make these lists exhausted. We have to use every single factor within the lists, just to make sure. Factors of 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. So we're looking between all of these numbers, all of the numbers underneath the 12, and all of the numbers underneath the 18. All of them are factors of each of the numbers respectively, and we are looking to find some that are common. Common between these two, as you can see, there's quite a few. There's 2, 3, that's common between them, and also 6. When there are multiple ones that are common, we have to choose the highest one. So in this case, it is 6, which you can see there down the bottom. Okay, so the highest common factor of 12 and 18 has to be 6. The next one, 21 and 28. So again, we list our common factors, or we list our factor pairs. 1 and 21, 3 and 7 is all we have for 21. 1 and 28, 2 and 14, 4 and 7, and yep, that's all we have as well for 28. Therefore, we look at the ones that are common. Now, 1's always going to be common, so if you have no other common ones, you know that you can use 1. However, in this case, we have 7, which means 7 is our highest common factor. Next one here, we've got 36 and 60. I think, yeah, we've got a bit more space down here to do these ones. So 36 and 60, they're going to have more factors. We just need to work them up to see which is the most common one. Which is the highest common one, sorry. So 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. What else? Got 3 and 12 already. 7, 8, no, I've got 9. Okay, that's all we have for 36. For 60, 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 10, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, which you may have forgotten, 6 and 10, not 7, not 8, not 9, got 10 already, not 11, got 12. Right, so that's our exhausted list for both of those. It just takes you a bit of time just to make sure you've got them all, and that way you can actually compare them easier. So the ones that they have in common are 6, 3, 1 and 2, 4 as well, 12 and 12, is there any more? Nope, so we pick out of the list that we have that are common, what is the highest one, and in this case it is 12. Now, two slightly larger numbers here, we've got 144 and 60, so I'll we'll get these ones out as well and see what we end up with. So, factor pairs for 144 are 1 and 144, 12 and 12, which is a good one to remember. We can also divide it by 12, so it's 4 and 36. We could divide 144 by 4. What else? We've got 2 and something as well. 2 and 72. I think that may be us. Okay, so we'll try 60. 1 and 60. 2 and 30. I've already got those ones from up above as well. So 3 and 20, which I think I missed from above. It should be 20 in there, not 10. 4 and 15. 5 and 12. 6 and 10 again, wasn't it? And then, no, 8, 9, 10. Right, so, okay, so for this one, again, having a look through your two numbers, you're not generally going to see numbers that are this large, like particularly the 144, but it's there just in case. Okay, so for this one, we will end up with a highest common factor. Again, there's loads of common ones here, but the highest one is going to be, again, 12. Okay, even though these numbers are quite large between each other, the highest one that divides into both has to be 12. Okay, as usual, all of your instructions are on the Teams page for today. We will do this over 2 periods, so it will be over Wednesday and Thursday. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you very much for listening. Okay.